Oh, good evening, everybody. All right, we're still in an uptrending market. We're getting very close to this resistance level. What you have to be careful of is a big, huge up day. That'd be the time to start taking profits, that exuberance at the top. Dow up nice. NASDAQ would still suspect it's going to come up here and hit the 200-day moving average. So if they keep the market moving in a positive direction, if we see a very strong day and they come up and hit the 200, that's probably the place where you want to start looking at your 10-minute charts to start taking profits on things. Bond prices kind of just hovering in here. Looks like it's trying to move up. Backed off today, but we can see that the bond prices aren't moving around very much. And some of the other things, the dollar. Dollar picked up a little bit of steam today. Bullish Harami. I don't know if that's after hours. I don't even think that's after hours. It must have just opened up and gapped up a little bit more. Let me make these a little bit bigger. That's not what I wanted to do. So I wouldn't be doubtful that they don't take the dollar back up to test the T-line, which obviously makes the euro coming down to test the T-line. All right, crude oil prices. Start watching the June contract. As you can see, it's still slowly moving up, not showing any real selling, just kind of bobbing and weaving on the way up. Let's see what it's doing after hours. Can't really, oh, it's up 50 cents. Not 50 cents, 5 cents. Okay. We reversed our position on live cattle. We had our sell stop. This was kind of observe the obvious. We had a doji on Friday. So we put our sell stop right here at the low. If it came down through there, we wanted to be out of the trade. Came down and closed below the T-line. We shorted it on 139 even today. And it closed at 138, 175. Good prospect of it coming back, possibly to test the 50. The first target I will usually look for is to see if it's going to support at a trend line, which it didn't today. So now we just watch it at the 20, and if it fails the 20, which doesn't seem to be a real influence here, we'll see if they bring it all the way back down to the 50-day moving average. So if you're shorting, we've shorted both the the April and the Junes. June's was more compelling in the sense that notice where the doji hit over here, right smack dab on the 200-day moving average, and then traded lower. So good prospect they could bring this back down and test the 200. I'm sorry, test the 50. I didn't go after coffee, but here's kind of where you, whoops, observe the obvious. Anytime you see this type of situation, you see kind of there was a trend channel, kind of did a doji sandwich right up through that level, had a good run all the way up to today. So this is why I have a very simple rule. If you're in the overbought area and you're moving up pretty strong and you're that far away from the T-line, just put your stop at the previous day's open. Because if it comes down through there, it may not be a sell signal, but it's probably an indication they're just coming back to test the T-line. So these are just kind of the the common sense situations or techniques we can use, just using the graphics of human nature. And wheat, we closed out on Friday because it came up and did a hammer signal back up above the 20, which gave us a situation where it was 50-50. Could either be opening positive or opening negative. So it wasn't worth the risk. Well, they gapped it up, but then started selling it back off. So this also becomes fairly simple. If they start trading down tomorrow, and I'll pick a spot, probably at today's low, but if it comes back down through that level, you want to be shorting it because that basically tells you they've failed up here at the moving averages. They're still taking the price down. Okay. I think that's everything. Oh, cocoa. Cocoa, same scenario. Nice big fry pan bottom. But as soon as it got up to a resistance level, notice the type of signal we have, an evening star signal. Makes this very simple. If we wake up tomorrow and cocoa is open weaker, we short it because it's more than likely it's going to come back down here and test the 50. To stay long, if you were long, you were stayed long after this signal, is that it has to open positive and trade positive tomorrow. Okay. Some of the ones that you want to be watching. MKTO. Nice slow curve. Notice how they gapped it up today. So the logic in this is if they are gapping it up into an obvious resistance level, that means they probably don't have that much concern about that being a resistance level, or they wouldn't be gapping into it. So now you've got this rounding bottom with a gap up through the resistance level. You definitely want to be looking at buying this one on positive trading tomorrow. And GLF, same type of scenario, kind of a bobble J-hook pattern. They took it down today. They didn't break out, but notice what happened. They took it down, tested the T-line, came back up again. A high probability trade is just put your buy stop just above the high of here and here, because if it breaks out, essentially you've got that slow curve breakout, J-hook pattern in progress. So again, these are just kind of high probability setups based upon what human nature kind of creates as a reoccurring setup time after time. Another nice little bobble breakout is CSII. This one you can be buying on positive trading. First target is coming up here to fill this gap, so you've got a good 20% upside. And VIPS also broke through this resistance level on the T-line crunch. Another one you can be buying on positive trading based upon the fact that they couldn't sell it off and they crunched it right up through the resistance level. Now you can start seeing it run pretty good. ADXS, another J-hook pattern, and notice what started today is J-hook. Doji followed by a gap up. Positive open tomorrow. Where's your likely target? Up here to the 200-day moving average. What do you think about the major indicators? They're all just kind of hovering in here, still in a slow uptrend. Like the Russell 2000. So if it opens lower tomorrow, we know we're still in a kind of a sideways mode as long as it stays above the T-line. If it opens positive, you know you've got a J-hook pattern, probably telling you they're taking it up to the 200. And the transportation index, you're up here in the overbought area, but you're away from the T-line / 200. And so what's the normal reaction? If they come back down through this level tomorrow, the low of today, anticipate they're going to come back and see if the 200 is going to act as support. FEYE also has this nice big fry pan bottom J-hook pattern set up. Another one I wouldn't be afraid to be buying tomorrow. Now the golds, we're all kind of hovering in here, but you can see on SA, there's a resistance level. There's an inverted hammer. If they open this positive and definitely take it through this level, get ready to buy wave 3. AU, just a slow, steady uptrend. GG, slow, steady uptrend. Nugget, same scenario. As long as it stays above the T-line, you can stay with these. Oil is coming back up. We're still looking at whiting. If whiting opens positive tomorrow, you want to be buying immediately, because more than likely you're going to get that Morningstar scoop type pattern that's going to create a slingshot effect coming out of there. And EGN, another one that if it opens positive tomorrow, Morningstar type signal, look for a slingshot effect. And MDVN, there's your Morningstar signal. If this one opens positive tomorrow, you can start buying immediately, because the next target will be the 200-day moving average. Just a high probability setup, because again, your convergence analysis is the fact that you've got a doji right here on the 50, Morningstar signal closed right on the T-line. If they open positive, they're confirming this whole pattern, and they're going to be breaking out through this level. I wouldn't necessarily close out whiting. If you're a trader, you close it out. If you're long-term hold, you just hold it as long as it stays above the 50. Michael, no, gold and the, if the dollar gets stronger. You're looking at the dollar that's probably in a downtrend, but could bounce back up to this level. So it wouldn't be too concerned about it moving gold around all that much, because the price won't be moving all that much. Yeah, hold off on your individual ones until I tell Jim to do the double line. And a lot of them we will probably get to even before we get to the double line. This one is, you'll probably see on the recommended list tomorrow. Again, with your doji gap up, breaking out of this downtrending channel, starting wave 3. So again, these are all high probability trade setups, because we got patterns, and not only patterns, but a lot of them have patterns where they're bouncing right off of major support levels. There's your left-right combo. This is TAL. There's your classic J-hook pattern followed, or your tri-pan bottom followed by a J-hook pattern. I suspect more upside. Remember, anytime you see a pattern setup, like we saw in LXU the other day, where they bounced off the T-line, if it opened positive, you wanted to be buying because it was probably breaking out through this level. And I forget what it was, up 13, 14% on the day. I would suspect now you could have the possibility of on a strong open tomorrow, that doji sandwich, which would take you up another big move. If it comes back below today's low, you close it out, because they're going to be profit taking back to the T-line. RPTP, there's that slow curve. You're right at the breakout level. Another one you can be buying on positive trading tomorrow with confidence. And GNW, slow curve. You can buy this one on positive trading tomorrow. I think the volume's pretty hefty on this one. But essentially, you've got basically that cup and handle, making your next target the 200-day moving average, which would give you a good, almost a 40% at least return, maybe even higher than that. ERII, there's that doji sandwich. J-hook pattern, classic. There's your big fry pan bottom. There's your J-hook. Starting with a doji sandwich that broke you out through the resistance level. And what do we know about a doji sandwich? There's going to be more upside. And what do we know about a J-hook pattern? The upside is usually the same magnitude as wave one. So just very good evaluations as to not only being in the right direction at the right time, but being in the right positions that are going to have big moves at the right time. Here's another one with a bunch of dojis. This is HMSY, kind of right here at this little downtrending channel. If this opens positive, got the potential of essentially another 40% to the upside. And PETX, big cup and handle breakout today. You can be buying this one with the expectation now moving up here. So moving from this level to this level is a good 65% upside. Yes, we're already sitting in some of these. And these are a list of ones to look at. There'll probably be at least three of these being recommended for tomorrow. Also, let's see, PETX, we just did that. Something like this one. Oh, pshaw. SHPG. Notice the type of pattern you have here. There's your scoop pattern. Then they had a doji gap up, then a gap up through the handle and the 50. You can be buying this one. This one will probably be recommended into the options room tomorrow. I'm going to look at an option strategy on that one because that one's got a good, very good scoop pattern breakout. That could be a big mover on options. And NVAX, there's your cup and handle right at the T-line. And what makes it so nice when you see, I'm sorry, right at the 50, makes it so nice is we can observe how we got to the 50 on a little slow curve. We also know if it opens positive, it's confirming this little slow curve breakout, as well as breaking out through the area that everybody else is watching. So if it opens positive, we can be buying early because more than likely everybody and their brother that's watching the 50-day moving average on this stock will start buying. Richard, my criteria for a positive open is if we wake up and we see before the market opens that the pre-market futures are going to be positive, the Dow's plus 70 and the NASDAQ's plus 14 and the S&P plus 5, that means we're opening positive. And if it opens positive, what's it tell us about our current trend? That we're still trading in our current trend. That means also that if I'm looking at a stock that needs to open positive, no, that one's not. What did we just look at? NAVX, NVAX. If the markets are opening positive, and this one's opening positive, meaning it's right here at the open and starting to trade positive, we're even gapping up a little bit, that tells me I can be buying. Now, on the other hand, if it opens positive, but the pre-market futures are showing that the Dow is opening up down 100 points, well, I'm not going to jump right in. I'm going to wait to see what the market's doing and what that selling off in the market does to this stock. But there's four entry strategies. We'll do that on the night when we do our entry and exit strategies. When you say open positive, you consider pre-market or just, no, the pre-market futures, which are going to be up there on Bloomberg or CNBC or even on your, if you've got something on your trading system, like I've got YM put into my my TOS watch list, and that's YM is the futures for the Dow. So I can look at that immediately, and if it's showing plus 86 10 minutes before the market's opening, that's a good indication the market's going to be opening positive. Don't look at the China market. No, don't. Everything that's going to be affected into the U.S. market based upon what everything else does. So if the China market fell out of bed, we'd see that in the pre-market futures. If the market's opening way down, we're not going to be jumping in. Where do you put your stop? As far as what, RT? Anytime I put in a stop, it's based on the simple criteria we have for confirming. For example, tomorrow, if we bought this one, it closed at 525. Let's say it started trading up to 532 and we were buying. Where do we not want to see it close? Well, obviously, we don't want to see it close back below, especially the halfway point of this candle, number one. And number two, don't want to see it close below the 50 because that puts us right back into this resistance level in the trading range. Number three, definitely don't want to see it trade below the T-line, which is today's open, because if it opened positive and they had enough selling pressure to bring it all the way down here, it's not going up. Close it out. What's that, the Nikkei? Okay. Unfortunately, Roger, no matter what things are doing right now, doesn't mean a hill of beans, because that's still, I guess if the Nikkei is trading up right now, but anything pre-market doesn't mean anything until 2 minutes before the market opens. That's when all the big boys have put their positions in and made their decisions. Okay, let's see. All right, so if this looks like a good-looking chart, even though we're up in the stochastics, why is this a good-looking chart? What type of signals and patterns is it setting up? Anybody? There you go, McMuffin and a doji sandwich, yes. So we got the McMuffin. There's our morning star signal. There's our doji sandwich. So we've got a morning sandwich or a McMuffin. What type of pattern is it setting up? Well, we can see the little J-hook pattern. Where do you think at least our first target is going to be based on this being a very strong buy signal? Up here at the 200. So even if we bought tomorrow on positive trading, with this just being our first target, if it got up here and failed, at least we got into a position that was heading in the right direction. And if it failed, at least we can come back out of it with a small profit or a break even. And that's essentially what we're trying to do with our money, is put ourselves in positions where we know the probabilities are in our favor. Sometimes, even with the probabilities are in favor, the upside may not be great, but at least the probabilities, if this is wave one and this is wave three, we could come up right through the 200-day moving average. Oh, Travis, I usually calculate it from somewhere in that range because it's not going to be an exact number. I just kind of calculated that if my first move was approximately 4.5 points, my second move is going to be approximately 4.5 points, and it doesn't really matter whether it's from the breakout level or where the J-hook pattern. So I just usually kind of quickly look at the middle just to give me an average. And then say, all right, is this worthwhile? Well, if it's a 4.5 point move from that level and it's another 30%, yes, it's worthwhile. Do I know exactly where the top's going to be? Definitely not. I just have an idea that it's going to be a good, strong move. So there's the McMuffin again on DVAX. Breaking this downward trend channel. Where's your first likely target? Up here at the 50. Oh, who does the writing on these? I think this is it. NVDA, left-right combo, breakout. Wave one was from 25 to 33, 8 points. So I pick right about in here and say, all right, 8 points, that should take us up pretty close to the $40 range. And I think this, oh, maybe we already did this. No, darn, handwriting. Oh, that's BMW. There's your slow curve. There's your doji sandwich. There's your potential upside. Got a broke out through this level with a doji sandwich, which tells us there's more upside. I would suspect at least coming up here and testing this level, and then possibly up to the 200. And Cuervo, look for a doji sandwich breakout. So if it opens positive tomorrow with stochastics heading up, the fact that you could never close below the T line or didn't close below the T line, and now we've got a doji right at the resistance level. We know the simple rule of doji, it's going to move in the direction of how they open after a doji. You want to be buying immediately. Does two things for you. If it starts up, you're the first one in. If it reverses and comes back down, you put it right where you bought it, and you're back out on a trade that you broke even that didn't work. And on the other hand, if it opened positive and kind of hovered around and then started selling off, you know, it didn't work, you're out with a very small loss. Okay, well, we've gone through pretty quick here. Couple on the short side. Lulu, I'd be ready to short this one on any weakness tomorrow because that would, after the doji, notice you've had a kicker signal, doji gap down. That's kind of a indication they want to get out of this one in a hurry. So if it opened lower tomorrow, what would that tell us? It told us the 50 is not going to act as support. Now we watch to see if the 200 is going to act as support. And CSTE, same scenario. Came back up, did a kicker signal or a little dark cloud type signal. There's a gap right here. So at least you know you're heading in the right direction. That might be your first target, but you can see what type of trend you're in right now. So there's a good possibility they could come back down to the bottom of the trend channel, making a very strong move to the downside. So very simple. If you short this one, you don't want to see it close back up above the 50/T line area. And TSE, there's kind of your spinning top gap down. This one could have a pullback, but then again, you could also have your J hook. So you short this one on based on that you want to see strong selling versus indecisive selling that could cause a J hook pattern after that fry pan bottom. So if I was shorting this one tomorrow, I'd definitely have my stop at the T line because if it opened lower and came back up through there, told me my downtrend isn't going to be that strong. So that's why you have the advantage of knowing what should happen after these signals. There's an evening star signal that closed back below the T line on VAC. You can see where the gap is right here at the 50-day moving average. Yes, the red line is the 200 simple. Blue line is the 50-day simple. Gray line is the 20-day simple moving averages. The T line is the 8 exponential moving average. Okay. How about that? Right at 8:30. We don't do that very often. I'm kind of looking at some of the shorts because right now we're in a nice steady uptrend, but we're getting very close to spots that could tell us that there might be some profit taking, bringing us back down at least to the T line and or the 50-day moving average. So at this level, obviously you're a little bit more nimble setting your stops at levels that that tell you that the selling has started. You know, I'm trying to. Well, what did I do? Well, Oh, here's what's happening. Well, show spots. All right. Did I miss any? I have. Now, here's one that is just on the danger list. This one has to open positive. This is EPE. Has to open positive tomorrow to stay in it. If it opens lower, it's kind of fizzled. I think another one was ETE. But if it opens lower, an evening star type signal, you want to close it out. Okay, that's pretty much all we got for tonight. Are there any general questions on candlesticks? All right, if not, is there a class and option biggies? Rama, we got so many other things going on right now. Yeah, probably the training class isn't going to be any more difficult. The only benefit we have trading the big ones like Apple is that the charts are usually very steady because of the volume, number one, and the volume for the options are hefty. So there's not too much I can add other than when you're trading the biggies like Apple or Netflix, you've got the benefit of the options. The disadvantage is you're probably going to pay more for the options because of the volatility in the stock. What is, I forgot what I was saying. I read the next question. That's just fine. Howdy do. Feel like Rose. You're usually paying a bigger price for the options, but the benefit of that is your bid-ask spread is usually much smaller, and when the price moves, those options move. They don't lag because the volume's so big that they're going to move immediate with the stock price. Where sometimes when you get into an option where the volume isn't as great on the option side, the stock could move, but since there's very little activity in the options, your option price may not move for a while. And Don, yes, we can do a class on stops. I don't know what the schedule looks like. No, they got me tied up for Tuesday, Wednesday. If the 29th or 30th is freed up, I'll put in a session on entry and exit strategies and our stops, if that fits into everybody's schedule. That's not the one we wanted. Which one do we want for gold? M. Right now, gold has been backing off, but not to any great extent. As a matter of fact, it's trading up a little bit after hours. But you can see what happened when it came out of this big fry pan bottom. It kind of went into another J-hook, but failed. But right now, you're still in kind of an uptrend. Yeah, I'll give everybody a 24-hour heads up before doing anything. You are doing, I'm doing one on the 30th. Okay. All right. And I better, well, maybe we'll have to do on Monday night. The first 15 minutes we can do entry and exits, kind of build it into that session. So that was gold. What do you do if tomorrow starts a strong sell-off in the market? Do you put your stop loss for the individual stocks at the T-line? If there's something, and this is probably a bad one to pick out because it's gold, if market sells off, doesn't necessarily mean gold's going to sell off. But let's say this was a normal stock that kind of was influenced by the market, and it closed right here, and then we wake up, we see the stochastics are down, so what we're anticipating right now is that gold will move back up and do kind of a J-hook. But let's say this was Beazer Homes, and I'm just picking out something. And the pre-market futures show that the Dow is going to open up, down, or trade down 100 points on the open. So that's a pretty good indication that this is not going to be going up. So if this opened lower, and I saw the pre-market futures were down 100, yeah, I'd close it out immediately because it's not going to be doing anything of great magnitude. It doesn't necessarily have to be the T-line. Just a spot that says I shouldn't be in it anymore. Okay, somebody got the, okay, there's, all right, Jim's directing Mike. When you purchase on a positive ocean, I'm usually on a positive ocean, based on a great chart pattern, and it starts to sell off during the day, should you wait until the close before looking for a place to put your stop? Yes. If there is something, I can give you more of an illustration on that. We set our entry stop on cattle today at 139. Let me see if I can bring a 10-minute chart up. That's a 1-minute chart. So it started off down this morning, then popped back up. So it looked a little bit iffy because it made it look like there was going to be a doji type day, but then it started rolling over. And the reason we held on to it was because what did we kind of expect after this signal? Remember, this isn't telling us what type of trading pattern is going to be setting up. It's telling us what's happened to investor sentiment. They're telling us they're selling it off, so the probabilities are pretty good that we're heading down. So we're still short cattle with the expectation we're heading for this area. Who's it? K. Same scenario on, look at the big fry pan bottom, J-hook pattern on crude oil. The suspicion right now is crude oil is coming back up here to about the $46 area, the 200-day moving average. The suspicion is because everything's looking like there's strength coming into this this market based upon the fry pan bottom. Okay, did I get everybody's questions? Let me make sure. Best charting. What is the best charting scanning system for scanning moving averages? Guess any of them. You can always put your alert or scans on based on the moving averages. There's probably not one better than the other. I suggest ideas for utilizing the screen areas. Travis, you can set them up any way you want to. I've got 3 30-inch screens. My left one is usually the chart or the chat rooms. My center one is the one I'm working off, usually on my whatever my trade execution software is. And then my right one, I can usually put 3 or 4 charts up at the same time and watch them pretty well. So if you don't need, well, let's see. Yeah, I guess it's just a matter of what you want to do and how many charts you want to watch at any one time. Okay, I guess with that, but thank you. All right, Jim, go ahead and do the double line. And in 3.6 seconds, do the next double line. Whoops, not screwing back fast. All right, there we go. Okay. AGEN. I'd be a buyer of this one on positive trading. You can see the little J-hook pattern in progress. And then I would use the halfway point of this candle as my stop, because if it opened positive and started trading positive, if it came and closed more than halfway down this candle, where are you? Right back in the middle of that trading range again. ACTG, you can buy this one. You can see how the T-line crunch pushed you up through, not only through the 50, but this also is a resistance level. And you had the T-line, so let me do this. So don't let the T-line crunch be just something you can see on your screen. If you could put a resistance level on and see the T-line crunch was pushing right up through that resistance level, that's still just as effective or just as meaningful. Kara, nice little breakout. That one you can be buying. I'm going to put a little star next to Kara. Anytime you see that doji gap up, especially breaking a downtrend, that means something new has happened. Another little breakout. Expect this one to go up to the 50-day moving average, which essentially gives you approximately almost a 50% upside potential. There's your J, or your classic fry pan bottom, J-hook pattern. Notice what they're doing right here in the 200. They came back and tested it, told us the 200 was acting as support. You can still be a buyer. Billy Barrett, I would stay long as you stay above the T-line. You're probably going to be in a 45 degree. ACAD, another one that you can buy. Notice the kind of the, well, anytime you see that flat trading area and then they break out, that flat trading area told there was lots of indecision, and now they've told you which way they're taking that decision. FIVN, you can be buying this one. If it opens positive, obviously breaking this level after a little left-right combo. TLRD, good little gap up. For some reason, it's not giving us the full chart, but I would stay long on this one. It's at least in a 45 degree. Auntie, another one you can buy on positive trading. Just make sure your volume is hefty on this one. And BCRX, I don't know why these charts go way back small every time. You can buy this one on the little doji sandwich today. If it comes back up to this level, it's a 33% return. Boeing hit the 200-day moving average. This is where you should have gone to your 10-minute chart. Let's go to the 10-minute chart. Yahoo! You can see that once it got up here, it was having a hard time getting through this area. Apparently once it hit, backed off a little bit, didn't back away. But what's our risk-reward factor at this point? We're a good distance away from the T-line, appeared to have failed at the 200. Stochastics in the overbought area. If it opens lower, close it out. Take your profits. That told you they did resist up here. The worst case scenario would be it turns right around and comes back up through the 200. You can buy it back. So you gave up 2 points on something that may now run another 17, 18 points. But the likelihood if it opened lower, it's coming back to test the T-line. American Airlines, you just stay long on this one. Also did a doji up here. So I wouldn't want to see it trade lower tomorrow. If it does, it's coming back to test the T-line. TEX, just stay long. Nothing wrong there. I would use today's low as a stop just to be safe. Mobley, another one where you can just stay long. Also use the T-line as your stop. AMKR we recommended because of the breakout potential right here at the 200. Notice your left-right combo. Once again, when they gap up, going into a resistance level, that's a pretty good indication they don't care that's a resistance. They can see it, and they're gapping to get there. That tells you that resistance level is not going to act as resistance. And GLF, this one you get ready to buy on positive trading tomorrow if it breaks this level up here. The 20-year notes. Whoops, there's something missing. Thought it was up a little bit from here, but it's kind of hovering right here on the 50, not really going anywhere. And CGIX, another one that you can be buying on positive trading. You can see the kind of a little flat fry pan bottom, another slow curve, inverted hammer, bullish confirmation. I would just stay long on this until you see a sell signal. And stamps, yes, you can go short on this one with the expectation they're probably coming back down to test the 50 and probably go a little bit past it to fill the gap. Devon Energy, just stay long. Use the T-line as your stop. You're in a fry pan bottom, so you can stay long as it doesn't come back down below the T-line. AGRS, nothing real magnificent about this one. Let me see if I can see plainly. Yeah, nothing here. I would rather pay $6 for it, knowing that it finally broke to the upside. And Apple, you stay long, but if it did this big doji today, remember, they're going to move in the direction how they open. I would not doubt that after this fry pan bottom, J-hook pattern, they're going to the 200 because I think they announced tonight that the FBI said they probably don't need Apple services to get into the phone finally. TSO, just stay long. HIMX, you could, if you shorted it early today, you stay short. It needed to come up and do something indecisive to show there's still an uptrend, but the fact that they sold it off on a pretty good candle to the downside tells you there's some profit taking or they're bringing it back down. Now, where are they going to bring it to? This is a case where a lot of people ask, do you use the Fibonacci numbers? Not really. That would be my first target. That'd be my second target. But I would also throw Fibonacci's from the very bottom of this trend to the very top. There's my 38% retracement. There's my 50%, and there's my 62%. So doesn't mean they're going to go to any one of these. It just means if it pulls back and I see it start bouncing somewhere out here in no man's land, meaning one of these moving averages, that's where they were moving it back to. TK sold off. Oh, I already typed in CELG. You can buy this one. I wouldn't buy it until it gets up above the 50. Need something strong to get it out of this sideways trading range. TK got sold off today, but closed right on the T-line. Makes it very simple. Has to open positive to stay in it tomorrow. And TCK, you want to see this open positive. If it opens lower, you know it's going to come back down and test the T-line. So if it opened lower tomorrow and started trading down, close it out, and then just wait to see what it does once it gets to the T-line. La Quinta is going to move in the direction of how they open it tomorrow. So if it opens positive, you've got a doji sandwich confirming the fry pan bottom. If it opens lower, it's coming back to test the T-line. In Tour, it's having a hard time getting through this downtrending channel. So if it opens lower tomorrow, you close it out because they'll bring it back down to the T-line. Eros has to open positive tomorrow. If it opens lower, see your stochastics, they're bringing it back down. I'd close it out immediately. You can always buy it back on signs of strength coming back up through today's open. Cup and handle on KPTI, you stay long on this one. Good potential of 45-degree or 45% up to the 200-day moving average. Labu, nothing major yet. Kind of just hovering in here. It probably wouldn't be long or short. Probably wouldn't be long this one until it does get back up through the 50. SYRG did exactly what you would have thought it would have done, coming back and testing the T-line. Now you can get ready to buy it on positive trading, with this time the expectation going up through the 200. And Flamel, just stay long. Notice when they opened it lower, they immediately brought it back up. Got kind of a little scoop pattern in progress. Goog, just stay long. Not a very exciting stock percentage-wise, but as long as it stays above the T-line, the markets are going to be pretty steady. Amazon, they brought back up today, but it's been kind of the weak sister out of the biggies. It still didn't do a reversal signal. So if it opens lower, tomorrow you stay short. If it opens positive, you probably cover your short position, because now not really having any direction. It's in the sideways mode. Smith & Wesson, I don't know whether somebody saw it move around after hours, but right now I would just stay long. You don't want to see it, probably don't want to see it trade at all back below today's low, because that would kind of be giving you a bearish doji sandwich setup. Rax, ooh. You can be buying this one on positive trading, setting up for that J-hook pattern, supporting right here on the 50. And then you just don't let it close back below the T-line. If it does that, it's just kind of a sideways chart. NXPI, bearish Harami Doji, very simple. If it opens positive, you stay long, but you put your stop at today's open. Shouldn't open positive and come back down through. If it opens lower, you put your sell stop at today's low. If it comes down through there, they're coming back to test the T-line. CPXX, probably in a 45-degree, you stay long. I would use today's open as my stop, which is kind of a support area in here. SanDisk, another one that'd be more apt to put a buy stop just above today's high, which was 76.90. Put a buy stop at 70.05. If it comes up through there, it's breaking out into the next wave. Bristol, nothing real exciting here. First of all, if it popped all the way back up here, it'd only be about an 8% move. And right now, this chart really isn't telling us there's any major direction in this stock. I'd be trading something else. PayPal, stay long. Whoops. Intelsat, another one that I'd be buying on a positive open, breaking the 50. You can see the slow curve that got you the slingshot effect heading in that direction. And CPRX, nothing real exciting about this one just yet. If you're buying it, you still have to break this downtrending channel and then break the 50. I would rather wait for a very strong reversal signal or bigger buy signal than what's here right now. Remember, the signals are telling you what the strength is of the a bullish reversal. Kind of a little scoop pattern here. This one I'd be more apt to buy if it broke through this level. Got some good running room to get back up to the 200. ATW, you can stay long on this one, but very simple. It has to open positive and trade positive. If it opens lower, you're probably in a sideways channel at this point. Lexmark, you can stay long on this one. We closed out some the other way we had to do because the call was expired. But if it comes up toward the 200 again, we will be buying it on the J-hook type pattern, as well as, again, there's the prospect that they can get themselves sold to somebody. Micron, slow curve. You can buy this one. Just watch to see what happens at your first target, which is the top of this channel. JC Penney, we've had this kind of in our long-term accounts for a while. I'd still be a buyer of this one, again at 12, breaking out through the top of the J-hook pattern. If you're long right now, you stay long. FLDM, nice little J-hook pattern right smack dab off the 50. Another one that I would high today was 803. Put a buy stop at 805. If it comes up through there, your J-hook pattern's in progress. SRPT, nice breakout ever since that little Morningstar scoop type pattern into the gap area, looking for the 200 to be the target. Right now, I wouldn't want to see it, definitely not trade back below this level, and I don't want to see it close back below the halfway point. But the prospects right now is that it's still going to go higher. Might be some little bit of profit taking. Silica, just stay long. And PBYI, nothing here yet. You can see it setting up, but I would buy it. I'd be more apt to buy it once it gets back up through the 50. If you were short, should have covered your short position today. You're in the oversold area and you're starting to see buy signals, not a place to be short anymore. Let's see, did we do CTERP? Just stay long. We did Eros. Has to open positive tomorrow. You don't want to, if you're long, you don't want to see this trade back below today's open. TLRD, just stay long. AutoZone. Oh, you're in this trend channel. I wouldn't be yeah, it's percentage-wise, not great percent move. If that's the right price. But as long as it stays in this trend channel, you can stay with it. And Amazon, I'd still be short this one if it opens weaker tomorrow. Today was really not a reversal signal, and the stochastics aren't telling you there's been any major reversal. Watt was up pretty strong, but this one has to open positive tomorrow. If it opens lower after your long-legged doji, it means they're coming back down to test the T-line again. International Paper, right here at the resistance level. At this point, if you own it, it has to open positive. If it opens lower tomorrow, take profits. It's going to do a bobble. And HPE, stay long, but you can see how you're starting to move a little bit away from the T-line. Have your stop at today's open. It should not come back through that level. AVXL, if you're long, you stay long. If you're looking to buy, put your buy stop just above the 200. I think we did Bill Barrett, GLNG. Has to open positive tomorrow to stay in it. Otherwise, if it opens lower, you can see how your trend is kind of just a very slow trend. The SPY, just stay long, use the T-line as your stop. And the Russell, same scenario. YRCW, another one which is going to move in the direction how they open it, so it has to open positive. If it opens lower, they're coming back to test the T-line. You don't necessarily close it out, or if you close it out, you look to get right back in it again. And VMW, you can buy this one on positive trading. Nice little slow curve setup. SQBG, I would rather be a buyer with it breaking out through this level, which means I'd rather pay 7 for it, knowing that it finally broke up to that level. And Priceline, big gap up, you're in the 45 degree. Don't let it close below the T-line. GasL, oh boy. GasL, I wouldn't be in right now. Nothing there. No direction, nothing to show any buying. TVIX, if you're short, you stay short ever since they started gapping it down from the gapped up doji. Square, stay long, expect it to stay in this upward trend channel. INDL, ever since the little inverted hammer right here on the 50, against doji, gap up, breakout, you stay long. Is that, that's the India bull market, all right. And Guild, slow curve breakout. If you like it, stay long. Just up until this point, hasn't had a whole lot of price movement. IHS, look for a 45 degree. Notice what popped this one, the slow curve. Orbital, nothing exciting. You're still in this downtrending channel. If you like it, you stay long. You just have to watch to see what it does at the 50, because that'll also be corresponding with this downward trend channel. If it opened lower tomorrow, I'd close out the position, because that tells me that they're not really doing anything other than keeping it in this slow downtrend. AJRD. This one I'd be more apt to buy above today's high, telling me they broke out through this little downtrending channel. All right, the last few here is SWN. Nothing here yet. Another one that I would wait for it to break out. Not any real major buy signal. I'd want to see it get a strong signal and break out through this level. Zen, this one I'd be more apt to buy in positive trading, knowing at least your first target is up here. Not a very prolific moving stock, percentage-wise, but at least you know it'd be moving in the right direction. And AU, we did. That's gold, just staying above the T-line. You stay with it. Okay, we ended right around 9 o'clock. That's unusual. All right, everybody. We'll call it a night. We'll see everybody bright and early in the chat rooms tomorrow. We'll see you then.